Hello everybody, welcome back to another interview with pharmacist, cosmetic chemist, and nutritionist and scientist, Ben Fuchs. I am Amanda Ridout, health coach, and today I have a couple of questions for Ben, and it's about one of the longevity products that I love very much, but I think it would be really neat to talk about it. First of all, how are you, Ben?
I'm doing great. You look radiant. You're glowing.
Thank you. I think it has something to do not only with the nutrients, but with a product we're going to be talking about in just a bit.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, these are longevity's EFAs, which is the essential fatty acids. And some people know them as the omegas, 3, 6, and 9s. And here and there I read on the internet, or some people might allude to, so why do I need to take fatty acids, EFAs, and aren't fatty acids going to make me fat? What would you say to that?
Well, so that's a very interesting question. Because they have nothing to do with each other. Fat is not fatty acid.
Okay.
I mean, the only thing fat has in common with fatty acid is the letters FAT, in the nomenclature. That's not exactly true, but they're distinct enough that they're really not, it's comparing apples to oranges.
Okay.
Fatty acid is a substance that is, it's hard to think of a more important nutritional element in the body. You know, I'm always hesitant to say this is the most important or that's the most important, because it's like a baseball team. You know, you got 9 players on your baseball team. Is the third baseman more important than the first baseman? Is the catcher more important than the shortstop? Is the third, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's a good metaphor, right? They're all the same.
Yeah.
In terms of their importance to the team, no matter how good your team is, if you don't have a first baseman, you're going to be lousy. You're going to lose games, right?
Right.
You're going to lose a lot of games. Likewise with nutrients. However, that having been said, on a baseball team, even though you need all the players, the pitcher, in a way, is the most important. So, you know, there is a level of hierarchy to importance, even though everybody's important, and essential fatty acids are on the top of the list. It doesn't get any more stupendously valuable and rare. You hear that combination? Valuable to the body, important to the body, functional to the body, responsible for so many aspects of health to the body, and simultaneously very difficult to obtain and very difficult to find in nature. And this is not a good combination when you think about it, right? Which means putting them in your diet any which way you can, in a whole form and in a not cooked form, because they're very unstable to heat. There's nothing more important. Nothing more important. Now, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, because it's got so many different things in it, so many different elements in it, because it's water soluble and we tend to lose our water soluble nutrients, important supplement. But next to that, or alongside of that, you've got your ultimate essential fatty acids. They're a must-have. And they don't make you fat in the sense that what's in your fat cells, what makes you fat is fat that's in fat cells. That's a kind of solid fat. Essential fatty acids are almost like a water-soluble fat. They're almost across, and this accounts for a lot of their properties. They're found in cell membranes, because membranes have to be on the front between water and fat. The membrane has a fatty nature, and there's water on either side of the membrane. So essential fatty acids can kind of pull things together because they have a water-soluble nature and a fat-soluble nature. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you have a fatty membrane right here, and you have a watery inside the cell, and then you have watery environment outside the cell. So this membrane, it helps the membrane stay fluid if the membrane has an ability to kind of link up with water. If it's fatty, but yet it can link up with water. So essential fatty acids have a sort of watery nature to them. The kind of fat that's in your fat cells is a solid fat that's dense in energy, and it's a completely different animal. Now, essential fatty acids, in addition to being water soluble, they're also incredibly active. They get turned into other things. Specifically, they get turned into something that nobody ever talks about, but it's an element that's so important to the body that it's involved in every single thing the body does, this element. This element that you never hear anybody talk about can be thought of like a pawn in a chess game. You know, the pawns on the chessboard, there's so many pawns, and the pawns only do a little bit. They only make one quick move. You tend to take them for granted. But pawns are very important. Pawns are the worker bees. You know, in the culture, the pawns are the worker bees. They make things happen. In a factory, the pawns, so-called, the workers, you know, they're the ones that make things happen. In a country, the so-called pawns are the ones that make things happen. Likewise, in the body, you have elements that make things happen, but because they're so common and there's so much of it, and they're constantly being born and dying, and they're, you know, we don't even think about them. They're so fundamental to us the way water is fundamental to a fish. You know, we don't even think about them, but they're, when you think about it, if you think about what they do, you realize how important they are. You can't open up blood vessels open and close in response to these elements. Nerve cells fire or don't fire in response to these elements. Muscles contract or don't relax in response to these elements. So if these elements are missing, you're going to have problems with almost every single function in the body. And one of the most important places where these elements play a role, and these elements come directly from essential fatty acids. Okay, they're called prostaglandins, by the way. Okay, have you ever heard of that term, prostaglandins? Okay, well, prostaglandins are these worker bees. There's a few of them, but the prostaglandins come directly from essential fatty acids. There's other ones. There's one called nitric oxide, which some people are talking about these days. But the most important ones are the prostaglandins. They come directly from essential fatty acids. They're responsible for all of the activity, the dynamic nature, the dynamic phenomena of the body depend on these prostaglandins. So a cell will make a prostaglandin and inflammation will occur. A cell will make a prostaglandin, and how it happens, by the way, is ridiculously fascinating. How essential fatty acids are turned into prostaglandins via the activity of cells, but that's a whole other story. The point is there's prostaglandins that are responsible for inflammation. There's prostaglandins that are responsible for anti-inflammation. There's prostaglandins that are responsible for blood thinning. There's prostaglandins that are responsible for blood clotting. There's prostaglandins responsible for cells firing. There's prostaglandins responsible for cells not firing. Inhibitory prostaglandins, excitatory prostaglandins. Prostaglandins controlling all of the various antagonistic relationships in the body. You understand what I'm saying? The body is this complex of closing and opening and relaxing and contracting and inflaming and not inflaming. It's all these, you know what I mean by antagonistic relationships. And the prostaglandins, which come from essential fatty acids, which are not in your body, keep this in mind, this is very important. The prostaglandins control all of that. All right, now, why is this important that they're not in your body? Because you can experience something called prostaglandin deficiency. And prostaglandin deficiency is behind autoimmune diseases. It's behind inflammatory diseases. Nobody's talking about this.
No,
you never hear about this, right?
No.
But drug companies know about it, and that's how aspirin works. That's how Motrin works. That's how Tylenol works. That's how Celebrex works. Okay. In any case, all these antagonistic relationships depend on having prostaglandins, which depends on having essential fatty acids. Is that enough of a friggin' reason to take essential fatty acids? I can't think of anything more important than that. Every single system in your body depends on them. Every single activity in your body depends on them. Deficiency states are behind many of our diseases, many of our degenerative diseases. I venture to say there's not a single degenerative disease, and especially autoimmune diseases, that don't have some kind of a prostaglandin component. And anytime you're using Motrin and getting relief from something, or Celebrex and getting relief from something, you're modifying prostaglandins. So if you're on those kinds of drugs, it becomes extra important that you start to take enough essential fatty acids. Now, I don't want to belabor the point because we can get off on talking all kinds of tangents here about the importance of essential fatty acids. So there's other reasons too. Essential fatty acids help cholesterol travel through the blood. Essential fatty acids, as I say, provide a structure to the membrane. Essential fatty acids they're super important for skin, for permeability of the skin, for keeping the skin just permeable enough so gases come out and things can be excreted, but not permeable enough so that water leaves. So dry skin is a classic sign of essential fatty acid deficiency. Classic. In fact, almost every skin problem that you can name, from eczema to acne, every single one, psoriasis, all of them involve prostaglandins, which means all of them involve essential fatty acids. These things are unbelievably important and fundamental. And, by the way, you'll notice that you're craving fats when you need essential fatty acids. You'll notice that you're craving fatty foods when you're deficient in essential fatty acids, and you'll notice that when you start to supplement with essential fatty acids, your cravings will lessen, will be reduced, and to the extent that you dose yourself or have enough essential fatty acids, you can even eliminate fat cravings entirely. French fries you can get to enough essential fatty acids where French fries won't taste good to you.
Oh my gosh.
Or maybe just one French fry. You'll have just one French fry.
You know, I'll say this. Since I've been taking the EFAs, I do the EFA Plus, I started taking three times a day. And it wasn't until the three times a day that...
You reached that point.
Finally my heels stopped being dry. You see, and that was like the last of all my dry skin. That was the last.
It's the bottom of your body.
Yeah.
It took a little bit longer to get to the extremities.
Yes.
The body will always leave, you know, when you start taking nutrients for the first time, you'll saturate the middle part of the body first, and then the extremities, especially the bottom of the feet and the hands, the extremities of the body will get it last. And by the way, dandruff and dry skin on the scalp, dandruff is a sign of dry skin on the scalp, that can also be a classic sign, or one of the major signs. All flakiness of skin is a major sign of not just essential fatty acid deficiency, but cholesterol deficiencies as well. And remember, there's a link between essential fatty acids and cholesterol, so EFA deficiencies can cause problems with cholesterol metabolism. In fact, supplementing with EFAs is one of the best ways to lower cholesterol and improve blood fats. Internally. There's just so many reasons. There's so many incredible benefits to these things, and they're so wide-ranging in terms of their effects and their benefits to the body. It's absolutely crazy not to supplement with them, in my opinion. Crazy.
So talk to me a little bit about when people start taking these EFAs, what are they going to see, let's say, in their daily beauty routine? Skin
will be softer. Skin will be more moisturized. That's the most important thing. If you have dry skin, you'll notice improvement. If you have a skin condition like eczema, you may have to take certain types of essential fatty acids or extra essential fatty acids, but you'll notice improvements in your eczema as well. Psoriasis may improve. Here's the thing, though. If you have fat malabsorption, this is why I'm always hitting, this is the main reason, actually. There's a couple reasons, but, you know, I'm always talking about fat malabsorption.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, you are.
It's so important to recognize that fats are not handled by the body as efficiently as liquids. And fats are distinct in their problematic nature in terms of how the body has to absorb them. A lot of things have to go right for fats to get absorbed. By the time we're 40s, 50s, 60s, you know, the machinery just isn't working like it should. And not only that, but nutritional deficiencies beget more nutritional deficiencies, because when you're nutritionally deficient, your digestive system breaks down, you don't absorb, so you become more nutritionally deficient, and this downward spiral. And so by the time we're in our 40s or 50s, fat malabsorption is very typical. Okay, Ben, so you are sending out samples to people of the products that you are formulating. Well, this one in particular. This one in particular. Okay, guys, this is, I don't know if you can see it, it's the omega-6 healing cream. Right. And no, listen, this is one of my favorite products. And tell us why this is so amazing, why it works so amazing, and then I'll give you an update on how it's working on my skin. Well, it's three main ingredients in there, okay? Number one, omega-6s. Okay. The omega-6, and they're stabilized omega-6s. The omega-6s get turned into prostaglandins, just like we're talking about. Okay. And prostaglandins, and they, specifically, there's an omega-6 called GLA. It's incredibly important for the skin. Now, there's no GLA in that, but there's omega-6s, which the body can, theoretically anyway, convert. I've never done any tests to see if it's done, if it actually happens, but theoretically can convert to GLA. Okay. So you get the whole prostaglandin thing. Remember, omega-6s get turned into prostaglandins. Yeah. Prostaglandins accelerate cell division. The different prostaglandins do different things. As we were saying earlier, the omega-6 prostaglandins encourage cell division and keep the cell healthy. And then the GLA also has anti-inflammatory properties. But the real key is the blend of the omega-6 and vitamin C. Vitamin C potentizes omega-6s and the omega-6 conversion into GLA and to the prostaglandin. And it's the blend of the vitamin C and the omega-6 that does it. So that's the secret. Then I throw in some cholesterol in there as well. It's a very, very active product. There's no preservative. There's no excipients. There's nothing that's not active, nothing that's not participating in the product, or participating in the activity. And here's the key. This is the most important thing. It's a healing cream. So if you cut yourself, shaving, you burn yourself, you have some kind of wound, it's first aid. Okay. But here's the thing, Amanda. Because it's healing, yes, exactly.
Because I had a little cut here.
Exactly. I'm interested in healing the skin.
Okay.
And that's what all my products do. That's what they've always done, is heal the skin. If something heals the skin, that's going to be the best anti-aging and health product that you could use. Because you may not have a blatant cut here, but the same processes that are kicking in when you heal your cut on your finger, that's the same processes that you want for anti-aging, namely stimulation of collagen and fibers to connective tissue to weave everything together to prevent to close your cut on your finger, but to keep your skin wrinkle-free on your face.
Okay.
The same process that closes the cut on your finger is going to keep your skin wrinkle-free on your face. So you're up-regulating all of the health, all of the facets of health in the skin. You're stimulating them. You're up-regulating them. You're making them happen more to a greater degree. And that means more moisture. That means more healing. That means anti-aging. That means more wrinkles, wrinkle-fighting fibers like collagen and elastin. That means more of everything you like.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, you've only been using it a month probably. How long? 3-4 weeks?
Probably.
Okay, that's great. You're noticing results now.
Love it.
Wait till you see what happens in 6 months. Wait till you see what exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. The changes will be progressive. You will continuously notice this, and this is what we talked about a couple episodes ago, or maybe a couple months ago. I don't remember when it was. The skin needs nutrients like any part of the body needs nutrients, but under conditions of nutritional deficiency, under conditions of prostaglandin deficiency, which we just talked about, under conditions of all chemical deficiency, all health chemical deficiency, the body will redirect resources to the interior and to the muscles and to the part that it considers to be more survival oriented. The face of the skin wrinkles, they don't matter as much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So by applying this stuff topically, you can bypass this. You can get the skin the nutrients it needs, even though the body's going to divert the resources it has to the core, and you should be taking stuff internally as well. That's also very important. But topically, you can mitigate some of the problems that are associated with the body's tendency to pull everything towards the middle, especially under conditions of deficiency. So you're sustaining your skin topically in an effort to replace what should be happening if we had a good diet and we took care of ourselves nutritionally and did everything we're supposed to do. And in my mind, that's what skincare should be. Why should we settle with skincare that just you smear something on your skin and it softens the stratum corneum, you know, the candy coating? Remember candy coating? Yeah. That's what most skincare does. It softens the candy coating, and we're settled for that, and we pay a lot of money for that. You know, and I've talked to people who spend a lot of money in department stores, and they're very proud of their department store product they buy, right? Same. I'm the guy formulating, okay? I know everything about those formulas. Trust me. I know every ingredient. I know where they buy them from. I know everything about how much it costs, the whole bit. And the same crap that you buy, for the most part, there's some exceptions, but for the most part, the same crap that you buy in a department store, you could buy at Walmart or you could buy at Walgreens and pay a lot less for it, and it'll do the same thing. Right. It'll soften your stratum corneum, basically. Yeah. And if they're clever, there's some things that they can do, but it's so expensive and nobody knows the difference. You know, nobody wants to mess around with it. Absolutely. But the way I look at it, you have an opportunity, when you put a skincare product on, you have an opportunity to change the health of the skin. And at the end of the day, Amanda, health is beauty. Absolutely. We want to be doing health as beauty. Right. The beauty will come after the health. We don't want, why simulate health when you can stimulate health? Absolutely. You know yeah. Right? Why imitate it? Why imitate it with, oh, my skin is nice and soft? No, it's not. You put wax and oil on your stratum corneum, and now you got soft, dead skin. There's no hydration happening anywhere. Yeah. Okay? Nothing. You've oiled the dead skin on the surface. Congratulations. Right. Right? That's what most of it does. Absolutely. What I'm saying is, instead of that, dose it. Put nutrients in it the way you take a nutritional supplement. Give your skin a nutritional supplement. And that's what the truth is going to be. That's the truth. That's why I call it the truth. The stuff people put on their skin, and I've been making skincare products now for 30 years, Amanda, and I don't care how dumb you are, in 30 years, you're going to figure something out. You're going to learn something. And I know a thing or two about skincare. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, maybe, but I know a thing or two about skincare for 30 years. And I'll tell you something. There's a lot of ingredients in skincare products that I would wear a mask before I had to work in the lab, or I didn't want to breathe in the lab. A lot of ingredients. Right. So You know, it's true they're in small amounts, you know, but repeated putting it on over and over and over again, in addition to the fact that the way a skincare product is crafted and put together, it allows for penetration into the stratum corneum, sometimes even into the epidermis, and over the course of time, eventually, if you do it over and over again, you know, twice a day, the way some people do, or all over their bodies, you know, with a lotion, you're putting a lot of crap on your skin that isn't doing you any good, and it could only possibly be doing you bad. At best, it's not doing anything, but it could be doing something bad as well. And that's not a good idea.
Your cream, not only does it have a wonderfully pleasant smell, because I get very offended by strong, perfumey, gross smells. I don't like them either. They give me headaches. So it has such a gentle and very pretty smell. But when you put it on, it goes on, you know, I always leave some water on my face, because I notice that it goes on a lot better when my face has the water. So after I clean it,
you know why that is? You know why that is?
No.
Because it's almost all active material.
Okay.
So you don't need very much. You need that little jar.
Yeah.
It's gonna last you a month.
Yeah, I take tiny little.
2 months.
It goes all over, down my neck.
Hold it up. Hold that up. You hold that up. You name me a skincare. Oh no, so people see the size. A skincare product that size that lasts 2 months.
Oh no, no, this is incredible. Right. This is incredible.
All right, 1 to 2 months. 1 to 2 months.
Yeah.
If you use it as first aid, maybe a little bit less, but just for your face, 1 to 2 months.
Absolutely.
That's how it should be. That's how it should be. You know?
Well, it leaves my skin very hydrated, not greasy at all. So it doesn't feel like there's grease on it. And afterwards, I can see the plumpness in my skin. So I love it. And I'll alternate sometimes at night this, and then the Truth Balm, and then this. And so I'll just, because I like it.
The retinol twice a week.
Yeah, the retinol I do more than twice a week on my little splotches and on my deep wrinkles. But I would like to talk about retinol next interview.
Good deal.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you so much. You have a wonderful week.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.